All right, welcome back, everybody. Anybody that's new here, thanks for joining me today. If you are new, consider subscribing if you like these guys. I literally have a merch line dedicated to them, big bluegill addiction. Those of you guys that are new, and those of you guys that have been around for a while, if you want to help out the channel everything I have to help out the channel is linked in the description. And then, yeah, if you're new here, most of you guys that aren't new know this, but if I catch fish on a certain thing and it's working really good, I'm not trying to sell you guys that thing. I'll link it in the description so you guys can use the same thing that I am, even if I don't work with the company. I mean, I work with certain brands and stuff like that, but I'll always let you guys know that. But you guys clicked on a thumbnail because of the giant bluegills. I know you did because I would too. So let's get into it. Okay, so the big thing here that I want to get into is where to go get giant bluegills, what you guys think about these specific ones that I'm talking about, and should I go after them? I have a lot of very big decisions to make year to year, and I have very little money to make those big decisions, so I'm employing my subscribers and anybody that feels like subscribing to the channel that's new here. I'm all ears. I want to know what you guys want to see more of and like places you want to see more of, because I'm going to talk about a couple places that not a lot of people fish, but I've been wanting to take road trips to them and go fishing, catch some of these giant bluegills. The big thing here is I want to try to put out the best content I can every year for you guys. I've got like 630 videos at this point almost, and I don't want to just keep uploading just to upload. I'm really I'm super against that. I understand it if you're like daily vlogging and you're doing stuff like that, but I really want to try to get you guys like some of the top content that I can muster out every year, whether that's 4 really crazy videos or 15 decently crazy videos or like 35 good videos. I was doing like 125 videos a year. I might still do that if I can afford to go. It just depends on how many of you guys hit the like button, comment below, and subscribe. So if you want to do any of those things so you can see some crazy stuff, do all that. But the first one I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to put it up here on the screen because this is a crazy fish, and I have to give credit where it's due. If I remember, this fish was caught by Zach Mackle, whatever his name is. Zach, if you see this, congrats again. I forgot when you got this. It was like a year ago, something like that. But this is, everybody knows where the giant red ears in the United States come from. If you don't, this is a Lake Havasu fish. I don't have to like hide Lake Havasu. It's a ginormous lake. I have fished it. I haven't been able to pick it apart myself. I had to go with a guide at the time. I didn't really want to, but I had to. But yeah, this fish that you guys are looking at right now is just, it's stupid. It's almost 5 pounds. The world record is like 5 pounds something ounces, and this lake grows them that big. I believe it's the quagga mussels. For you guys in the northern Midwest like I am, it's like a zebra mussel, or basically is. But yeah, these guys are called shell crackers for a reason. They eat these mussels by the ton, and they get gigantic. The one Zach's got here, I believe, is like a 15-inch, 16-inch fish. I would probably cry if I caught something this big because I am a panfish nut. Okay, so yeah, that fish that I just showed you guys is just, I have it on a screen over here so that I could make sure that I'm talking about the right one, but that fish is just stupid big. Like, that's stupid big. And that is a place that I have on my radar, regardless if people want to see me go there or not. I grew up going down to Arizona and stuff like that, doing stuff out that way. And I didn't ever know about these fish. And I feel cheated because I literally was flying down there all the time. I have family out there that I went to. And yeah, I never even heard about them and never got a chance to fish for them. So hopefully one of these days I have one of those giants on the end of my line. So what I need you guys to do is, as I go through these, comment below if you want to see me try and get a trip together just for this fish species. The big thing here is some of these trips are really expensive. Like, I made a trip a couple years ago in the fall. I was going out to Havasu, and I was going to try and fish for these guys, and then, like I said, I ended up with a guide. I'm not going to mention his name, but he really just made me angry because he said we were going to target those, and we didn't do that. We did catch a fish that I'd never caught before, so I have that video up. It's a very interesting thing because I didn't even know these fish were in that body of water. Learning new things, I guess. But yeah, comment below if you want me to go back there and try and do that. I can I kind of have an understanding of the area now. I might even drag my boat all the way out there. So just for you guys to understand, I live in the state of Wisconsin. That's like a 1,800 mile or 1,700 mile trip or something like that to Havasu. So that would be one of those, like, if I was doing that, I'd probably fish all the way out there. If you guys want to see a series like that, you guys need to let me know in the comments below. Because if I can get enough, you know, desire for it, if you guys show me that you guys want to do a thing like that, I might be able to get something figured out where I can get enough together to get me out there to do like the trip. Otherwise, I probably would just, it's cheaper to just fly out there and try and fish for those giant red ears. But the next fish is actually a hybrid red ear, and it's in the same body of water. So the big thing about Havasu is it kind of grows everything big and gigantic. So it's definitely on my radar, like I said. But this one was caught by Ty. But yeah, this is like a hybrid. I believe he said it was like a bluegill red ear hybrid, but it's a freak. It looks a lot like the pumpkin seeds I catch in the state of Wisconsin. I get a couple of giant pumpkin seeds every year out here. I have a couple bodies of water, but they're not like that. That thing was like 3 pounds, 2 pounds or something like that. It was a freak. That's basically the gist of Havasu. The next fish that I'm going to put up right here is, it's a copper-nosed bluegill. So if you guys have never seen a copper-nosed bluegill, this is what a copper-nosed bluegill looks like. From what I understand, this is a Florida strain copper-nosed bluegill from the locals that I know in the area that tell me about these fish. This is a California bluegill, but that's all I'm going to give you because there's a bunch of different bodies of water out there with giant bluegill in them, and I'm trying to keep them that way because it's probably going to be the only place in the United States that I can catch a 3-pound plus bluegill ever in my lifetime in public water. So I have a big thing about not catching fish in like private bodies of water, because if you feed it full of feed, it didn't grow that way naturally. So like, it's just not a natural fish. So I'm not interested in chasing pond fish. I'm really interested in chasing bodies of water, or chasing fish on bodies of water that everybody else can fish. But as you could see there, that fish, you could see the little one next to it, and it's just crazy because the one that I have the photo of, I had to find that photo. But I've seen photos of those very specific fish from that very specific body of water that were just freaks. But either way, they get up to like 2.5, almost 3 pounds out there. And if you guys know anything about me and panfish, a 3-pound bluegill would just blow my mind. I don't really consider shell crackers in that class because they get up to like 15, 16 inches nowadays in the bodies of water that they have like an abundance of food in. Bluegills do this thing where they either grow long and skinny, which I call those dirty genetics or just bad genetics, or they grow real tall and really thick. And when they grow really tall and really thick, those are like what I would consider the best genetics on the planet. There used to be a couple places on the East Coast that had a place like that. That was a private body of water that was very heavily managed, and they had bluegills that was like super, super thick. I always wanted to go fishing there, but then I heard it got stormed out or wrecked, so that might not ever get to be a chance of mine. But like I said, that was a private body of water, and you got to pay a bunch of money to fish it. So long story short, this California bluegill is one that's been on my radar for a very long time. I don't know how to go by getting it done. So it's one of those things. If you guys are interested in me going and chasing that one, comment below, because that's something else I've never caught. I've never caught a red ear, and I've never caught a pumpkin seed. So those are 2 bluegills species that I've never caught, and I would love to add to my repertoire. My favorite thing about the red ear and the copper nose is the fact that the copper nose, it looks basically tropical, like super tropical, and then the red ear has it's got like that look like the pumpkin seeds that I love. Just those bright firecrackery or fireworky colors is what I think of when I look at it, just a firework swimming. But it gets gigantic. So those are like the 2 things that I love about those. This next bluegill though, so remember, comment below if you think I should go out to California and try and track down some of those. You guys should be seeing this spring of, what is this, 2023 right now. There is currently a ton of snowpack in California, and that's going to be running down into all the reservoirs where I want to go fishing. and I don't know what that's going to do to them. They might make the spawn better. It might do a bunch of negative things. I don't know. I'm just waiting to see how things are going. But yeah, comment below if you think I should go out there and do that. I might actually end up doing that in the fall then. So if you guys want me to go there and chase those fish, because you guys think it'd be kind of cool for me to chase copper nose and stuff like that, I might even do that down south. It just depends. But California is where like the biggest ones that I've seen in the country are, so that's where my brain is at. Okay, so last but not least here, I'm going to put this up here, but I'm going to give you a little caveat. I'm not going to tell you what state this is from, because I know the guy that caught it, and I promised him I would never tell anybody right where it was from, but I can drive to this in a fairly decent amount of time that won't break my bank or like hurt my head because I can't sleep, whatever. But this is the biggest, these are the biggest northern strain bluegills I have ever seen in public waters. Now, let me repeat that. There have been, like I said, on the east coast of the United States, there have been 3-pound bluegills, but if you're sitting there dumping food down something's face its entire lifetime, I sure as hope that it hits 3 pounds or bigger or whatever. And then you have all the genetic tinkering and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people growing their own giant bluegills, which I really want to do at some point in my life if I ever get a chance to. But till that point happens, I'd rather go to public bodies of water to just try and like outsmart the fish, I guess. A lot of people think bluegills are dumb, but the one I'm about to show you, I guarantee wasn't dumb. So I'll put it up here. But as you guys can see, this thing is a freak. So this has what I like to call the best prime genetics there is. Like the grade A Wagyu steak, whatever you want to call it, like prime. This is a fish I would never eat. I would never keep. I'd only ever get a replica of if I could ever afford it. But yeah, these are 2-pound plus natural strain public water bluegills. Let me repeat that. They're in public waters, and that's why I can't say what state they're in. But the guy that's holding it, he has caught a lot of these in his lifetime. So much so that I believe he doesn't even understand anymore how special they are. But yeah, 2-pound plus is my next goal in giant bluegills, and this fish would have surpassed that, no problem. It's a side photo, and I used to have the front photo of it. But this thing was like 2.5 inches across. It's like 7, 8 inches tall, and it was like 11, or like maybe this one was only like 10.5 inches long. But yeah, so that one would be a goal of mine that I might actually be able to attain. Granted, they still exist. That photo that I just showed you of that giant northern strain bluegill, that's an old photo, so that's years ago. And the problem with bluegills, and this is why public water is king to me, so if you can catch them in ponds, that's fine. You have fun. I would have fun catching giant bluegills in ponds too. But the thing is when giant bluegills get discovered in public water, people are still not thinking enough to understand that when you take all of the giant males off the beds in the springtime, because that's the easiest time to get them, when you take them all off the beds, the size structure comes down. So they get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and then once, you know, everybody's heard the story. We used to catch them here all the time. I'd fill pails with them. That's where they went. So when you go back to that body of water to catch them again and they're gone, you took them home. They don't replace themselves. Bluegills, once they stunt, they stay small. Unless you kill off the whole body of water, which in public bodies of water, that's not going to happen all the time. That's why it's so easy to do with them in private bodies of water, because if you have like a 1-acre pond, you can just kill it off and bring them back and do it again and again and again, and they grow super fast if you do it right from the start. So within like 2 or 3 years, you can have like a 2-pound bluegill, which, yeah, that's just stuffing something full of food since it's born. So that's why I'm on the hunt for some big public water bluegills. So if you guys are after your own public water bluegills and you have stories, that's where I suggest you guys start. If you've ever heard of these giant bodies of water or giant bluegills bodies of water in your local area, start there and do exactly what I've done. I've gone to every body of water that I've ever heard of, And then I've also gone to bodies of water that I've heard of other things that correlate. I have a whole video, I'm not going to go into it too detail right now, on how to find giant bluegills and catch them. I made a whole video on like how they get formed and all that stuff and what dictates their size, structure. All those things you need to understand if you're chasing these fish, which that's pretty much all I've been into for like almost half my life right now. So yeah, I'm excited. I want you guys to comment below if I should go chase the giant northern strain bluegill, if I should go chase the west coast bluegills. There might be some east coast bluegills that are gigantic, and then there's Havasu. That's the only one I know about over in like the southwest that's got giant bluegills in it. That's still in the United States. I've heard stories of other places like in Mexico and stuff like that, but I'm trying to stay in the country right now. It's a lot cheaper, and yeah, might be actually attainable. So let me know if you guys want to see those kind of videos. Like I said, leave a comment below. Let me know if you guys want me to film what videos you want to see, if I can get them to, if I can pull them off. I have some ideas lined up already. I already have plans on chasing some more big bluegills. Wisconsin's got like a pretty decent sized class that I can get into. I know a couple bodies of water that I haven't hit yet that are supposed to have freaks in them. So stay tuned for those videos if you're not new here. If you are new, consider subscribing. I try to do informational videos like this every so often. Most of the time, I'm out fishing. Winter or open water. So if you're new, you want to see some fishing, some camping, some adventures, subscribe. See you guys next time.